All right, good to see everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Let's come to a nice comfortable seat in our chair. Let's all scoot forward a little bit today. If you had blocks available and you wanted to take one between your feet to start out, that could feel nice. It just gives you a little feedback. Probably the medium way will work best for most of us, medium or wide, kind of depending upon how big your hips are. We want to make sure that we're landing with our knees over our ankles, and then feel your sit bones pressed down into your chair. Let's give the shoulders a roll out here. I don't know if the mic is picking up my shoulders, but they're pretty crunchy. We're going to blame this on having worked a lot the past couple weeks. Not the fun work like teaching yoga. Actually, the flight attendant work is fun too, just maybe not so much during the holidays. Let's roll forward. Good, and then roll back again. And then go ahead and feel those shoulder heads press back. The shoulder blades slide in towards each other. Shoulders are lining up over your sit bones. You can take your hands to your thighs. Your chin is parallel to the floor. Allow your eyelids to close. Smooth, full, deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. Again, smooth, full, deep inhale. Fill up. And sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Do that a few more times at your pace. With each exhale, maybe you're letting go of some like residual stickiness from 2025, something that you no longer need. With each inhale, you're filling up with new ideas and intentions. Purpose. And after you've done that a few times, you're going to seal your lips. You're going to start to inhale through your nose and then also exhale through your nose. Your attention comes to that sound of your breath. It's your focal point. All the sounds in the room, all the sounds in your head just drift into the background. Just soaking up how good it feels to simply breathe. To sit quietly, to draw inward. Good. So from here, gently blink your eyes open. You're going to keep your hands on your thighs. You're going to take a nice deep inhale. Feel that openness, that lift across your heart and chest. And then as you exhale, start to hinge forward. You can drop your chin towards your chest. So lengthening the back of the neck. And then use the strength of your arms to help press yourself back up. As you inhale, nice. Exhale. Start to extend forward, rolling down, chin towards chest. And then inhaling, using that strength of your arms to help press you up. And we're just going to do this a few more times. So you can even think of this as a little bit of a cat-cow. Exhaling, rounding in. Inhaling, finding that extension forward. Couple more, just at your pace, moving with your breath. Your eyes might be closed here if you feel steady and safe. They could also be open, just keeping your gaze soft and gentle. So do one more complete cycle here. Press up to your seat. Good, and then let's just segue this into our cat-cow. So rooting into your sit bones. As you inhale, you're gonna rock forward on those sit bones. You're gonna find that arch in your lumbar, shoulder heads pressed back. It's like a cobra pose. As you exhale, you move in the opposite direction, rounding in your spine, rocking to the backs of your sit bones, chin towards chest. Inhaling into that cow stretch. Exhaling into the cat stretch. Connecting movement with breath, finding a pace that feels really good and organic in your body today. Some days we need to move a little faster. Some days it feels better to slow things down. Paying attention to your spine, where there are places that are a little congested, a little tender, where there are places that feel a little more open, a little easier, just noticing. And then just perhaps observing too, as we continue to breathe here and move like this, how things very gently begin to open up. As we continue here a few more rounds, if you'd like to add your arms to start to warm up the full shoulder girdles as you're inhaling, you can reach your right arm forward. Exhale, it releases down. And then inhale, you can stretch that left arm forward. As you try these variations, you're always just paying attention. You're noticing, you're asking, is this working for me today? And some days it's not going to, so you can always just modify, kind of rewind, just do what we were doing one moment before. And finally, if you wanted to do a few rounds with both arms after you finished on your left side, your next inhale, you could play with that. I find that it requires a little more core. Nice work, everyone. A couple more if you're doing alternate arms. Just finish up on that left side. And we're all going to eventually meet back in our Tadasana, our mountain pose, that nice tall seat. Make any little adjustments that you need to here. Maybe just peek down at your feet again. Make sure that you still have that nice alignment. And then from here, let's start to do some hip rolls. You just choose a direction to go. You decide if you want these little hip circles to be small or big or a little of both. You can exaggerate the movement in different parts of your body. So really just exploring this, making it your own, letting it feel good. You can gently start to switch directions. And then start to make those circles a little bit smaller so you're coming to your nice comfortable seat. And then let's just do a little like gentle heart opening back bending here. So depending upon like the kind of chair that you're in, you're gonna reach back. You might be able to grab the back of the chair, kind of the sides of the chair. If that doesn't work, you could even just take your hands to your thighs. But from here, holding on to something, you're gonna start to kind of rock to the front of your sit bones. It's like this cow stretch, but it's nice, particularly if you're holding on to something, because it's going to give you a little more opening across your heart, chest, and those shoulders. And as you inhale, can you just visualize your sternum lifting ever so gently towards your chin? And could you even, as you're holding on here, think about your inner upper arm coiling, wrapping towards your outer upper arm. So that's going to help you to widen more across the heart, the chest area. Excuse me. Good, and then go ahead and release that. Hands return to your thighs. Let's take a couple breaths here, and then we'll do one more of those. And so kind of like maybe a slightly milder version than some of the camel poses that we could do. You could think of it that way also. So again, reaching back, grabbing something is nice if that's available. If that's not part of your setup, hands on thighs is great. And then you just start to rock forward on your sit bones. But as that is happening, you can think of that little coil happening in your chest, spiraling up towards the ceiling. Wherever you're at, you're kind of squeezing those elbows in towards each other. The shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other on the back body. With each inhale, you're feeling a little more lift of your sternum. You might even start to bring your gaze up. And you can just keep your chin right where it's at, but you just look up. That's going to change the feeling of the pose a little bit. Good, and then go ahead and release that. Again, just find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And then we're going to do a little side twisting in the chair. So actually a couple of options. Again, depending upon the type of chair that you're in, this may or may not work. So if you are in a chair where it's hard to move from side to side, you're simply going to take a little twist here. If it's easy enough for you to swing legs to one side, we're going to do that today. You're going to take both hands to the back of the chair, and I want you to press more into that left hand. I'm sorry, it would be your right hand. And you're going to feel a little opening across that right shoulder. And even if you're in this version here, you can kind of think about drawing that right shoulder head back a little more. With the back of the chair, you might find like there's a little something more tangible to press into, so you get a little more. We're going to take a few more breaths here. Good, and then as you exhale, you unwind, come back to center. If you're at center, you just come to the second side. So right hand to the outside of that left thigh, and then maybe holding onto something with that left hand and just finding a little leverage to help you draw that left shoulder head back. If you're taking this sitting sideways in the chair version, both hands come to the chair, but this time you're pressing more into your left hand, and that's helping to leverage that left shoulder back. It helps you to twist into the pose a little bit deeper. You might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over your left shoulder. And it's challenging when we're twisting, but you're trying to fill up on your inhale as much as possible. Notice how the exhale feels empty. It's almost like everything is being wrung out already, so it's easier to find that place of emptiness. Good, couple more breaths here. Good, as you exhale, you're gonna unwind, make your way back to your Tadasana mountain pose. And then from here, let's start to lean our right ear towards our right shoulder. Notice if you're right, if your shoulders start to creep up, particularly if the muscles in your neck are feeling a little tight, the muscles in your shoulder, your body's going to naturally go there. It's trying to like take a little of that effort out. So maybe lean less to the right side if you need to, if it's really intense. And then maybe just gently bring your right hand to the top of your head. And you're kind of giving a little weight, so you're pulling down, but even slightly forward. Send your breath to the left side of your neck, the back of the shoulder. And keep your head leaning off to the right. Release that right arm down. Take a few breaths here. And even here with those right fingertips dangling towards the floor, you could be feeling some pretty intense stretch. Let's release our left hand down, spin the palm to face open. That sort of changes the equation as well. And then as you inhale, take that left arm up and over. So finding more of a side stretch in the body. Can you release both shoulder blades down and in towards each other? Press a little more into that left sit bone. And deep inhale. Exhale, release. Come back to center. Let's roll the shoulders out again. And just observing how they feel, how they sound. Mine are starting to warm up a little, so it's not quite as crunchy. Still pretty crunchy, but not quite as. All right, so let's do that to the second side. So you're going to start to lean your left ear towards your left shoulder. And again, you're just being mindful to keep those shoulders relaxing down. You could imagine that somebody's just gently pressing down on them. Breath, you're sending it to the right side of your neck. So tiny, tiny muscles in the neck that do a lot of work. So their size relative to what they're holding up, it's pretty amazing. It's no wonder there's a lot of tension that happens there. And we're just gently breathing into them here. We're encouraging the fibers to let go, to release a little bit. And then maybe if it feels appropriate in your body, if you feel like you can use a little more, you take your left hand to the top of your head. And again, it's almost like this dual action happening. You're sort of like the weight of the hand is intensifying things, but then you're even slightly pulling forward a little bit using the strength of your arm. Breath doesn't skip a beat. I mean, you always do less if you need to. And if the breath gets ragged, that's usually a good indication that you need to back off a bit. Let's go ahead and release that left hand down, even as we're keeping that ear tilted off to the left. And then take that right arm up and over. So this becomes more of a side stretch. As I came into this, my left shoulder creeped up towards my left ear, so I've softened it down. You might feel a little gentle wrapping of those left ribs up towards the ceiling. What's going on with your breath? Can you return to that sound of your inhale through your nose and that exhale through your nose? Good. One more deep inhale. And then exhale. Release down. Give those shoulders a roll out. And then shoulder heads, press back, shoulder blades, release down. Come to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And let's just slowly drop our chin towards our chest. So starting to get into the back of the neck a little more. You might not go very far, that's fine. As long as you're feeling a little something back there, you're doing it right. And you're still trying to lengthen through both sides of the waist on each inhale. Good. From here, as you inhale, start to lift your chin parallel to the floor. And from here, let's come into our eagle pose legs. So for starters, you could just stay exactly where you are. You're always welcome to just do everything from this Tadasana place. If it is working for you today, available in your body, you can bring your left foot to the midline a little more. And then cross your right thigh over that left thigh. And then as you come here, I want you to feel those sit bones rooting down, and then think, just imagine that you've got like vice grips on your outer hips, gently squeezing everything in. Maybe that, just the visualization of that helps you to sit a little bit taller. We're going to give ourselves a hug. We're going to take our left arm on top. And so for this first round, we're just going to floss out the shoulders. So you're going to keep your spine nice and long. We're not thinking cat-cow here. We're going to inhale, lift the elbows any amount. And then exhale, they drop down any amount. Good, inhaling up. And exhale, release down. Inhaling up. Exhale, release. Couple more of these. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, release down. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, release. And then this time we're going to inhale, lift up. And we're going to hold here a few breaths. And you're probably feeling a little stretch, the back of the neck, the shoulders. Let's continue to sit nice and tall as you inhale. Take the arms out and up and down. Good, and then let's inhale, take the arms out and up. As you exhale, cactus your arms, and then lean the wrists back so the elbows kind of come forward. Feel that stretch, that openness across your heart and chest. Deep inhale here. Exhale, little twist to the right. It's probably not going to be super deep, especially if the legs are crossed. Inhale, center. Exhale, little twist to the left. It's going to feel easier going to this side. Inhale, back to center. And then we're going to exhale, twist to the right again. Go ahead and release your hands down. So another variation of twisting. You might find that you're getting more like sort of lower side, back area, twisting with the legs crossed like this. Listen to that sound of your breath. All right, so we've got our left arm basically set up to be underneath again. As you exhale, you're going to unwind. Give yourself that hug one more time. Left arm is underneath. Good, and then we're going to inhale, full spine this time. So it's a little cat-cow with the eagle arms. Exhale, round in. Inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding in. We've got a few more of these. You're just moving with your breath. If you wanted to come into the more classic variation of the arms, so the backs of the hands pressing, or maybe the palms pressing, you could do that as well. They're all doing the same thing. A lot of it just has to do with shoulder flexibility. On your next inhale, come back to that nice tall seat. So eagle pose. Couple of breaths here. Maybe bring your gaze up. And then again, unwind. So reach up, out, and down. Very nice. And we will take that sequence to the second side. So second side might look different. Absolutely fine. Again, you can always like stage every pose just from this basic Tadasana. It's like the blueprint pose for everything. If you're taking your left thigh over your right thigh, it is probably helpful to walk your right foot to the left a step or two. And then just take a couple of breaths here. Notice how this side feels. Again, just visualize those vice grips on your outer hips, squeezing everything in. And even if that's an action that is like hard to find or feel in your body, just the idea that I find it makes me sit a little taller. It helps me to find that lengthening through the sides of my waist. You're feeling that gentle lift of your sternum. Good, and then we're going to give ourselves this hug. So we're going to take our left arm underneath the right. And then we're going to keep the spine nice and tall. So we're just flossing out the shoulders, inhaling, elbows lift. Exhale, they drop towards the belly button. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, they drop down. We got a few more of these. Moving with the breath. And so a really nice way to build a little heat inside the shoulders. For some of us, this can feel a little nervy. So if you're getting that, you're not alone. So one more, lifting up here, sitting nice and tall. And then let's reach the arms out and down. Beautiful. And then we reach out and up. And then exhale, cactus your arms. Feel those shoulder blades really squeeze in towards each other. Lean the wrists back a little bit. So you're really trying to accentuate the stretch that you're feeling across your heart and chest. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Again, it's pretty challenging. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twisting this direction, much easier in my body. Inhale back to center. And then we exhale, twist. And then go ahead and release your hands down. So you're grabbing a piece of chair behind you. You're using a little leverage, that right hand against that left thigh to press the shoulder heads back. Feel that lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. And keep that breath smooth and steady. And try to fill up on your inhale as much as possible. Might be bringing your gaze towards that left shoulder. Good, and then so we're doing that opposite variation with the arms. This right arm is on the bottom naturally. So as we exhale, we're gonna unwind, give ourselves that hug again. And you can keep your elbows like this. Again, you have the option to bring backs of the hands together or palms to press. Full motion in the spine this time. So like more of a classic cat-cow with these arms. Inhale, elbows reach. You're rocking to the fronts of your sit bones. As you exhale, you round in. Inhaling, lifting, finding that flat back bend. Exhaling, rounding in. Inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding in. A couple more, inhaling. Exhaling. And then on your next inhale, come back to nice tall spine, just sitting in this eagle pose, feeling Garudasana, feeling your breath. And then inhale, reach the arms up, out and down. Lovely. Give the shoulders a little roll out here. So before we come into some crescent pose and a little more twisting, let's just flush all of that out with a few of our Ardha Surya Namaskaras, so our sun salutes. So finding your nice Tadasana. If you like to use blocks underneath your hands, that's wonderful. So you could set those up. It's just a means of bringing the floor a little bit closer to you. If you don't have them, not to worry. There are ways to modify. Before we start, let's just peek, make sure that we still have those ankles underneath knees. So we have this nice setup here, this home base. As we inhale, your choice here. You could reach arms out and up. You could reach them forward and up. There's really like not a set way to do these. As you exhale, you also have options. You could swan dive in. You might feel like you need the support of your hands to help you roll all the way down. Chin drops towards chest. Inhale, press your hands to your blocks or your shins or your thighs. Lengthen through the sides of your waist. This is like a little cobra pose. As you exhale, you fold back in. And then inhale, you could do that reverse swan dive out. That requires a little core. You could also use your hands to help press you up. We reach all the way up. We gaze up. Maybe we press our palms. And then as you exhale, you can take arms out wide. You can bring palms to heart center. So that was our first round of Surya Namaskara. Let's do one more together. Releasing the arms down. Inhale, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, we fold into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. Inhale, we extend into our Ardha Uttanasana, our half forward fold. Exhale, back into Uttanasana we go. And then inhaling, making your way back into your extended mountain pose, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana. As you exhale, hands come to heart center, Samastitihi, even standing. So 3 more on your own, moving with your breath. If these aren't jiving for you today, you could simply sit quietly. You could do more cat-cow. You could do those Sufi rolls. So you could take any pose here that is calling to you. If you are doing these sun salutes, really take up space, really move with your breath, find that rhythm. Let these feel really graceful and easy. And sun salutes really are quite lovely. I know I've said it before, but I can just not be grumpy when I'm doing them. They're like an anti-grumpy vitamin. They feel a lot like a moving meditation. Lovely work. When you've completed your third round, you're pausing with your palms together at heart center, closing your eyes, checking in, noticing how you're feeling, noticing the physical sensations happening in your body. Blink your eyes open, release your hands down. So coming into our crescent pose. So again, you can just stay here with your legs in Tadasana. You could also extend that left leg to straight. So legs stay about hips distance apart. You feel both sit bones pressing down evenly, both hip bones are facing forward. Release your arms by your sides. And then inhale, take the arms out and up. We're just going to hold for a few breaths here. You could pretend that somebody is holding your wrists, gently tractioning you up, helping you to find more space in those the lower waist, hip area. And you might start to bring your gaze up, press palms together. And then bring your gaze forward. Exhale, spread the arms wide. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, twist right. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale to center. And then exhale, twist to the right, reach out. And then release your hands down. This left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh. It might feel better being on your left thigh. Both are good. We've been here a few times. But again, just notice how in different configurations with the lower body, it might feel, the twist might feel different in your torso. You might get more stretch in certain places. There's a little back bend, even as we're twisting the spine here. Filling up on the inhale as much as possible. Using that twisting action in the exhale to help you completely empty out. And then option to stay here like this. If you wanted to play with hinging forward, hooking your left elbow to that right thigh, you could do that. And then perhaps press your right palm into your left palm, finding a little more leverage. So once again, wrap those left ribs up towards the ceiling. You can always try these variations, see if they're working, and if they're not, you just go to the place that you were before. Take a deep inhale. And then from here, we're going to exhale, unwind. We're going to take a forward fold. So again, you might have those blocks. You could rest your hands on your legs. As you hinge forward here, particularly if you have your left leg extended, you're going to feel a nice stretch on that hamstring. And then just like your little rag doll, you can keep the spine rounded. You can start to use your hands to help you press up. So the head is the last thing to come up. You might get a little head rush after that forward fold. Go ahead and bend that left knee. And then we come into the second side. It could look different than the first side. So option to stay here in your Tadasana, or you could extend your right leg to straight. So legs are about hips distance apart. Left ankle is under your left knee. Release your arms down by your sides. Just a few breaths here in our simple crescent pose. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you press into your sit bones, you're lengthening through the sides of your waist. And again, you can imagine that somebody is gently tractioning you up by your wrists. You're growing another inch in 2026. You might be gazing up. You might be pressing your palms. And then bring your gaze forward. Exhale, take the arms out wide. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, back to center. And then we exhale, twist left. Release the hands down. Right hand can be on right thigh or left thigh. Press those shoulders back. Feel that lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling, even as you're wrapping the right ribs to the left. Your gaze might move in the direction of that left shoulder. And then making a decision here. If you're feeling a nice twist, just stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to shift things up a little bit, hinge forward, hook that right elbow to the outside of your left thigh, and then vigorously press that left palm into your right palm to help you leverage those right ribs, that right side body up towards the ceiling. Check in with your breath. Nice, smooth, full, deep inhale. And then as you exhale, unwind, hinge forward. So a little hamstring stretch for that right leg, lengthening the back of the neck. So also a really nice stretch for the spine. And then nice and easy as you inhale, start to roll on out. Again, you might get a little head rush. If that right leg was extended, go ahead and bring it back in. And then allow your eyes to close if they're not already. Take a smooth, full, deep inhale through your nose. Full, complete exhale. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 more rounds on your own like that. Change the count if you need to. And when you've completed your final cycle, you're just going to make your way into some form of a resting pose. Probably going to stay exactly where you are. The feeling tone is going to be different. You're inviting in this idea of deep relaxation, surrender. You're inviting your brain and body to assimilate the work that we've done together this past hour. You're creating this bookend, the conclusion of our class as you move into the rest of your day. Shavasana. Asatoma satgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Let your next inhale be deeper. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And then just begin to bring some gentle movement back to your body. Circle, wiggle, stretch, anything that feels good here. You're going to eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for making the effort. Send your body love and gratitude. We send each other love and gratitude. And just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, week, weekend ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work, yogis. Happy 2026. Great to see everyone.